Hello Internet, and welcome to my review for Boruto Naruto Next Generation's episode 103, the finale of the Jugo Arc. When we last left off, Tosaka revealed that he was just kind of crazy. He just kind of be like that sometimes. And he gave himself his own curse mark and let Jugo go full power while Boruto and Suigetsu watched. And meanwhile, everyone else fought the twins and won pretty easily, with some troubling implications of Nue, as Nue just tries to suck out all of the twin that he was fighting's chakra. So yeah, that happened, but anyway, Jugo is breaking free of his restraints, Tosaka wants to fight, Jugo, and Sarada and Karin are dealing with the geese now. Anyway, let's jump right into the episode. So I've always been a fan, as I brought up, of being reminded that these kids are still kids for all their talents. You know, we see Boruto and his whole generation as like these kind of genius people, but they're in the end just kind of they're still 12, and we get a reminder of that in that scene at the beginning of this episode, where Sarada is so in a state of shock of having to deal with like all of the geese before her with so little time that she kind of freezes up. But before Karin tells her to like get her act together and get working. It's a short little thing. It doesn't last long, but it lasts long enough that we see as just a quick reminder of Sarada is just like not an adult. Though, moving on to the first half of the episode's main thing, I'm going to come right out and say it. I am not a fan of Tosaka's curse mark design. It's just kind of... his face, he's just so, like, dumb-faced. You know, I can't take him seriously. But finally, Jugo gives into the curse mark. He can't fight it anymore. And Tosaka finally gets his match against Jugo to see if his curse mark is stronger. And it isn't! It takes one punch to just shatter his curse mark armor and, like, break his arm. And Jugo just goes ham for a good minute. It's the highlight of the episode, if not the arc. Even, like, it's really cathartic to just watch Tosaka get his ass whooped. But it still manages to be tragic that, like, Jugo is stuck in this state. You know, he's stuck here, thanks to Tosaka. But yeah, moving on. So after that, Jugo's going wild, and Boruto kind of has a short little clash with him right after Tosaka's gone. And that's pretty good. It's nothing special. But right when Jugo is about to take out Boruto, Boruto is rescued by Nue, whose like whole potential return to the darkness has been an unexpected highlight of the arc. Meanwhile, Sarada and Karin are having to decide whether or not they'll just have to kill the rest of the infected geese in order to stop the spread of the curse mark around the world. Given that Jugo is indisposed at the moment, given that he's a raging monster trying to kill Boruto. Back on that fight, which is really where we're going to focus the next good chunk of this video. Boruto has a plan to take out Jugo, that he discloses to Sumire, and like, what? Physics? In my magical ninja anime? His plan is to use... He realizes that his Rasengan is not strong enough to match what Konohamaru's did way back in episode 99. And so he's going to use Jugo's force, or Jugo's speed, to increase the force of the blow. That's actually really smart. I don't see a problem with that. Maybe that's not how physics works, but I'm not a physicist. I don't really care. It works well enough for me. But in order to get his max speed, we have to have the arc finale mainstay, the Boruto stream. That unfortunately, however, not even a Boruto stream Rasengan can wake Jugo up now. It just does not work at all. What does work, though, is our old friend, the domesticated goose, who learns to fly for a little bit. And that kind of reminds everyone of the theme of you can become what you want to become and not stuck in your own life path. That you will recall Boruto tied to Sumire a couple episodes ago. More on that when we touch on Sumire's fate at the end of the episode. So yeah, the domesticated goose it's a weird little symbol of the power of will and hard work over natural talent, which is a pretty classic Naruto theme, going all the way back to like Neji, way back when. But yeah, it works for the most part. Either way, though, the geese are all about to migrate, and no one can do anything about the infected geese right now. So Sarada's about to kill them all because she has no choice. When suddenly Mitsuki shows up with Konohamaru with the serum that will cure them all, which I'm a little miffed at because we don't get to see that. It's just all of a sudden Mitsuki's there with Konohamaru, like, oh yeah, we went to the place and we got the medicine, we're all good to go, let's go. And like, I feel like we should have been shown that. I don't know if there would have been time without like a 7th episode to the arc. But whatever, it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, with Suigetsu's help, they save the geese. Which is honestly one of my favorite uses of Suigetsu's powers in a long time. He drinks the serum and expands his body so that he rains down the serum from, like, he turns into water and, like, precipitates onto the geese. And it works. It's a really funny bit. Alright, it's not meant to be funny, but, like, it's a clever use of his powers. But this gives Sumire the inspiration to make her decision on what she wants to do next with her life. Which means we need to talk about, the last thing we can talk about before we get into wrap-ups, is Sumire's decision to join the Scientific Ninja Tools Department. So for a few episodes now, I've been alluding to Sumire's fate, and that's what it is. Her decision to join up with Katasuke and reform the Scientific Ninja Tools Department. And here we get why she joined, which is more than the manga ever gave us. In the manga, she just kind of ends up there. The first time we see her in the manga, she's already a member of the team with some history there. I will say, her reasoning of, oh, the goose made me want to do it, that felt a little random, I will say. And I wish we had gotten, I think, so she tells her teammates that, that the department had already reached out to her about joining. And I wish we had seen that, so that we could have had, with Sumire all arc, this kind of, oh, she's contemplating what she wants to do about that. Maybe that could have been inserted at the end of, I think it was 96, with the Crying Cannon episode. While we were focused on them, we could be like, oh yeah, keep this in the back of your mind, and it'll play through the next arc. I think that might have worked better. Instead of what we got, where it was just like thrown at us last minute. And the geese being the final kick in the pants she needed to join them felt pretty random. But her larger motive, needing to better synergize with Nue, has been actually set up very well throughout this arc. I did mention Nue's character arc, such as it was like the arc's highlight to me. So I'm very interested in how the Nue aspect will cover her later adventures in the anime, because we know she's not going away anytime soon, even if she is part of a new cohort, so to speak. I mean, she's still around. She can still come to the Leaf Village every now and then and hang out with the gang. But yeah, with that, the gang heads home. Taka took custody of Tosaka to take him back to Orochimaru, which is not what Konohamaru wanted, but what can he do? And yeah, the gang heads home with another mission complete. So this was a surprisingly good wrap-up to an arc that I have not really been quiet about my apathy towards. The Jugo Tosaka fight was fast, fluid, really cathartic, just watch Tosaka get utterly crushed. Boruto and Jugo scenes, they're not really the highlight of the episode, but Boruto, putting his life on the line to bring bring Jugo down, still gave a nice capstone to the relationship. We also now have everything we need story-wise get back on the manga, thanks to Sumire, so I imagine that'll be soon-ish. I'm not sure when. I mentioned in my last manga review that there is a good point in that chapter that could be, like, played out into filler arcs if the need arises, but we'll see how they manage that. But we're all ready to move on to a new story. This is far from the best episode there ever was, but this is about as good an ending to this arc that could be expected. Now on to the arc as a whole. There's no doubt this arc has the worst villains in all of Boruto so far. The arc that shall not be named notwithstanding. The creepy twins are just kind of there, and Tosaka is just such a generic mad scientist. Despite that, the rest of the arc works pretty well, actually. Even for as boring as the villains are, their fight scenes are also pretty good. Of course, the real heart of the arc is in its characters and its themes, which, while the whole fuck your fate thing is pretty standard for this franchise, it does a good enough job of subtly bringing Sumire into consideration enough that it's not a total surprise that this is the arc where she makes her big decision to join Kitasuke. In the end, Sumire, Nue, and the Scientific Ninja Tools Department is the big thing this arc brings to the table, and I want to see what the anime does with it moving forward. Because there's still a lot to do with Nue, and I hope it's not she joins the department and now they're best friends and all the kind of things that the arc brought to the table about Nue not being as tame as we thought he was. I don't want this to go away. I want this to be something that Sumire continues in her arcs in the future. But next time, Team 7 gets a cat, in what I can only assume will be the greatest episode in franchise history. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the episode and the video and the arc. Now that we're done, if you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or, do whatever makes you happy. And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye.